morning, class. Welcome to Homeroom with Unk and Market Monk. Good morning, P. How's your week?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, honestly, it was just the hedging strategy I used, just kind of saved my ass, for lack of a better term. MSTR full on breakdown. Got 2 weeks in a row. Had a put go about $25 in the money. So that that worked out fine. ONDS good for me, and just some of them just kind of confirmation of that selling was a good idea. NBIS is one of them. People want to search the group on that one, and then Duolingo. Just yeah, just getting out, hitting stops on some green stuff. Pretty much was my week.
Yeah, definitely. Second time around is usually easier no matter what you do. A very similar week to the week before. Um, I've been kind of trying to hint at where to be or what to do or what to look for, and definitely not what I wanted to trade last week, but it was offered, so we traded it. I haven't traded the Alto, and God, I think it's been over a year. But you follow news on everything, and you read things, and certain things just set up for you, and some are better than others. Sometimes you get 10%, get a brag, and sometimes you get plus 50, and can do a little victory lap here and there. And then the same thing with CSIQ. Got to say thank you for that one, P.
Yeah,
Just scalping the trend there, really for me. The price point works. You kind of talked me into the. I used to be a dollar guy, maybe a $10, $15 guy, but you talked me into like getting to the 20s and 30s, 40s and 50s are really good as well. And so I've
yeah.
I've been doing that a lot more last 2 years, and it's to be honest, it's where I've kind of moved to. Actually, I do enjoy it a little bit more. I enjoy the range a little bit more, and not as many knives. I think that was your selling point back then. So, but just a good week there, and then I got ONDS with you. Auto RTL thing of beauty right there, and
Yeah.
really like the sector as well. So yeah, good week. Good week on. I mean, let's throw that out there. It's not like I hit the weekly trading goal by any means, but I'm an 8 out of 10 guy. If I closed
Yeah.
8 out of 10 trades on the week and I got $56, I'm still good over here. So it's more about knowing that I can go to the well and pull something out successfully with little issue, um, and no matter the weather. And second time around this week, weird. I mean, when we get into the market stuff, I'm gonna probably be a little bit more cynical from what I'm seeing, but good week to trade. I mean, it wasn't horrible by any means. There was actually some volume on some things finally, so good overall.
Yeah, right. And I think it's one of those weeks too. I was pretty active on Twitter this week, and when you do that, the algorithm keeps feeding you stuff, and I just some of these the way that people talk about stocks, like they're talking about root very differently than the way we talk about it, and meaning that that the pullbacks that you're getting are setting up for you know a 500% move to the upside, and the you don't get a sense that there's precision in what they're doing. They'll talk about lemonade so far above our pivots. I mentioned NBIS. That one was kind of new to me, over a month ago, and went like, I think it was in the 80s, high 80s. The flow was 105. It went up to 130, 140. And then people were saying it's undervalued up here at 130, and then it drops. It's like it's just this huge bargain, and it's still kind of never gotten to our entry. So you mentioned having been at this a while, and you know now that I've done it for several years now, the way that stocks, like, you know come back to entries, or just retrace about like halfway to our entry. And then the way that people talk about it, it's like they're just seeing these stocks for the first time after these huge moves. So um based on your experience, what's going on with people when they're seeing the market that way? What indicators are they using? I saw you critique a whole list of indicators the other day. So what's what's different about what we're doing, basically? Not trying to toot our own horn here, but what when you see the market at a moment like this, how do we do it differently than what you kind of see out there in general?
I mean, not going against the grain or against the overall movement, but we strive to be different in general. I think that's just personality through a hard work angle, and um, fuck, I had to sell you on not alerting. I mean, even when we got into this kind of game, it's stuff like that, and we want to win long term, and I think that's the number one thing that makes us different. We don't want to lose money. I think I brought up them comments from RT's room, even, right? Like,
Yeah.
worst thing at night is me thinking about someone else losing money. That's the worst. And it's not looking at the big picture, but knowing the story. They're on the minute chart, so to speak. I mean, I wish I could make a sports analogy, but we're historians of the game. They know about that home run. That's about it.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. And yeah, I mean, maybe we were on a closer playing field, 2021, 22, 23, but 25, bro, they're still doing the same old thing that got them there. And I mean, you seen Lane. What do you call him? D Book? What do you want to call him? I mean, Jesus, you can't even
Yeah.
keep the fucking name straight. T- Post about the MSTR bottom bouncy, about bounceroo or some shit. Like it, making up your own shit because it's just the same bullshit over and over again. They're content creators. We're fucking traders when it comes down to it. I mean, we have to do enough work so our trades work, or we're going back to fucking work. I mean, or living on the street. I don't know. I mean, that's the real fucking difference. I don't
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
mom's. I don't got mom's
Right.
basement. Fucking 45 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. That
mean,
there's a um Michael Irvin quote where he's talking about kind of making it in football, and he's like you got to run that slant or it's back to the project. So it was his whole
yeah,
his
yeah,
whole thing. But yeah, and I think a lot of times the story angle, quantum, rare earth, data centers, those are the three that come to mind that people kind of finally get it, that hey, these are important, but it's so late into the move, and it's not like those sectors are over. I mean, I go back to them, and I think the nuclear stuff's starting to hit our filters again, and um, but just there's and I think those stocks do well. Most of them like retrace the move up, break through to newer highs, but it's not a great spot to be in to buy the top in a great sector, and then it has this big pullback, and then you got to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to average down the whole way down here, and then halfway back up I break even in something I believe in, and then that word conviction comes up. I have a lot of conviction too that AI and data centers and all of that it's not just a bubble, that it's a complicated series of bubbles that and things will move from sector to sector, and lately it's like you got to power these data centers, you got to physically build these things, and there's trades there all over the place. But to just have conviction in one stock like NBIS, like they make it their whole, this is like my identity, I'm all in on this one and like two others, this big believer. That company's not paying my salary. Why would I have this much loyalty to this company? And the all stocks are shit kind of thing comes up. So I just see that over and over again, and it's like basically the dominant style is still momentum trader, but they try to dress it up. you're going to dress up momentum trading with some half-baked TA vocabulary, or some kind you're trying to win the Nobel Prize in economics with your tweets. And they do all those things, but when you cut through it, it's still momentum trading. You don't notice anything until it makes a really aggressive move to the upside. You try to get in on it. At best, you get the last gasp of 20-30% in the stock, and then you don't talk about when you sold it, and you bag your followers. And it's just over and over again, that pattern. And I just it kind of motivates me to continue to, hone what we're doing. And I know that I mentioned a couple times that there'll be a concept, and I'm like, even within our room, I'm like, this is a really crucial thing. I don't feel like people are really getting it, and so I have to look back at the teacher. Well, how am I teaching and explaining this to where they're not getting it? Because we do have, really some people who do pay attention and work at what they're doing, and those are the people that last in our room. So I need to kind of get through to them, um, and then there's kind of like some of the guys out there are just hopeless. I mean, I like there's one guy in particular. I comment on his tweets sometimes, like if he would just have an epiphany and just be like, how does this guy always seem to know what's going to happen with my trades every time? It's not that I'm just trolling the guy. It's like I could actually help you here. So maybe ask that. But there's something with guys like that. There's a kind of arrogance there, that they'd seem to rather just keep doing what they're doing. They're kind of locked into the social media aspect of it. Um, so yeah, that's rant. Finish my rant here. There is a sense in which through trading, I encounter people that I wouldn't encounter in everyday life, or maybe they'd take my class and wash out. That's probably the best analogy for it. That a lot of people I encounter through this are the people who take my class for 3 weeks and then drop, and then maybe try again, wait till the student loan check clears, and then whatever. But it's finding serious people in this space is sort of rare in my experience, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think you got there. You just don't believe it. And this time of year is always interesting to me because this is when I said, Professor, we got to get out of this goddamn Discord and start our own thing many moons ago, and it just took you a
Yeah.
while to get there. So I'm used to it. But yeah, it's just still they get paid off engagement. They don't get paid off of trading, and they take that
Yeah.
$200, or I don't know what it is because I can't figure. I'm not trying to tweet 20 times a day. I'm sorry, people. If that's what you need from somebody to trust them to trade, I'm the wrong guy. Um, but yeah, they just get that money from the engagement, or whatever on that side. I don't know what they do. They play little casino ad games or something. I don't know. Whatever they do, that's what they do with their time. They get 50, 200, I don't know, maybe $2,000. They throw it in the market like it's a fucking casino. They literally just treat it like that. Um, I don't think a lot of times they're even trading what they're trading. They're just looking for engagement to to grease that engagement machine, right? Like
Yeah.
just to say I am active because that's, I mean, this one that what I've always thought that, but that Maple kid, man, that 300 or 100K in 3 months, he tweets that shit on schedule. On schedule.
Yeah.
Why? How is that helping anyone trade? Telling you I made money. Want me to send you a picture of my account? That's gonna help you? It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever. It just really is. And even if it worked, that you need that condition. I mean, tell me exactly the conditions. Walk me through what you did, because there's no way anyone made. I mean, unless you have some money, there's no way anyone made that much money without without like having a really good plan and a really good setup. Just impossible. So tell me about that, because that's not coming back. I tell you guys about it all the time, right? You heard about Nvidia, right? You heard about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Just checking. Just checking. Y'all heard about SoFi, right? Just checking.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. So, yeah. So we're just playing different games. So, I mean, that's why I kind of let it go. I mean, I kind of laugh at it. I do look and see what they're on because I don't want my shit to get fucked with. But other than that, just yeah, it's not worth it. It's It's not a resource anymore. It was in the
Yeah,
thing is a
and
lot of us guys found that in the meme stock days. I did. I was one of those guys. I was like, man,
yeah,
like there's this Reddit, and I'm gonna just go over there. They're talking about stocks. I'm gonna go look at it. I mean, there wasn't much places for that before. I mean, for lack of better terms, before that, it kind of was smoke signals amongst the trading communities. They had some weird options groups, but those were the other way. Super like suit and tie technical places. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't crack a joke in
yeah,
there, post a meme, and then the Discord, Twitter thing came out, and it's just way more, I guess, generational, casual, like social media, and here we are. But yeah, there's not much value into it, nor are those guys bringing value. It's just they're creating content on a platform. They're just like the people that scream shit about politicians. Same thing. It's just they're not.
yeah. No, it's true. And the you know the style switch thing. I think everybody sort of grows as a trader, and things work and things don't. But you know, to go from flow to spy to, I mean, it seems like the end, to me, the end is when you're trading crypto shit coins on leverage. That's the end of a trading career to me. You have reached the lowest point of what you know. I mean, and I guess it was NFTs for a while, but the that version of it, or OTCs used to be the thing like this. But
I've
yeah,
always
you've
assumed
kind of
I've always assumed the coins was because they're 24 hours, and it's just back to the content. It's not actually trading. So now I can create content 24 hours a day, on the weekend even. There's more engagement because
yeah,
you're
right.
reaching
Well, and with
you're reaching for that. That's what you're reaching for. You're not reaching to understand how to trade. You're reaching to understand how to get followers and clicks. Like a win to them is 10,000 likes. That's a win, not a
yes,
20%
yeah,
trade. It's just not.
and a crypto broker is going to give you access to more leverage than TD Ameritrade. I mean, what's margin on that? Like 4x for some stocks, or I don't even use margin, but like
Yeah.
it's you can't go 100x Apple on TD Ameritrade.
No.
I mean, I guess you can through options somewhat, but just in terms of leverage, it's just access to unlimited leverage, and you can make a nice screenshot like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
up
the point.
400% on this meme coin. Like, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So yeah, Netflix splits on Monday.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that one out of the
Yeah,
way.
no, I so the
Let's get that out of the way.
yeah, to
Sorry.
talk about splits, that a couple recent ones that come to mind, that like the MSTR split just opened up some great new range, and I revisited old levels, and those pre-split levels worked beautifully, and Nvidia split and did well and all that. The Pan W split was a little weird because it wasn't. I think it was like a 3-to-1 or something, and it didn't really kind of do much for me. Netflix, though, when you get a stock that's over $1,000 and it splits, those are kind of the ones that seem to really start to work flow wise and whatever. But how do you view a split like this, and what do you look for, and all that kind of stuff?
Well, first thing I do is I sell some of what I have before,
Yeah,
because of yeah, just because I'm gonna have too many, and I expect to get range. I don't want to say a dip necessarily, but range should be decent down there though. Yeah, I expect volatility in range 10 to 1. So the float's
yeah,
still not crazy. I mean, it's not going to be a crazy thing, but they'll be good. They'll be good. Um, I think, yeah, I think if you're not an owner, it's going to be time to own it. You just got to give that move time, because there'll be. I mean, you got to figure other people are going to be making moves around that time as well. So like, it's not a 1 day event usually for something like that. Just be mindful of that. But good stock to own. Yeah, I did the same with Nvidia though. I usually don't. I usually Nvidia I sold earlier into the last split, and I bought later. But the buy was good and the sell was bad. I could have sold. I could have held it. I could have held a little bit longer, which I did with Netflix. Did hold this one a
Yeah.
little bit longer. So just be patient on the other end, especially if you're not an owner. There's going to be great. It's like you option guys. I think it's going to be great. I should be great for. And if you're scalping or short term swing trading, it's going to be a great. Especially if you get where this conversation was going today. If we get some pullback at all. I mean, if you're going to trade Netflix, let's say to like let me pull up the chart because I was gonna go MSTR, um, but like I would say 80, but probably give you a better number than that. Yeah, if we're gonna go like 65 to 80, that's a great tradable range on Netflix. If you do get some pullback, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Um,
No, right. And the option thing. I mean, options get pretty unaffordable for the stocks at over 1,000, particularly like a tech stock like that. There's some utilities and the low IV stuff, but yeah, options affordability just means flow wakes up and you get some of the. It's not even so much retail, but you have these kind of smaller whales. They're just it's easier to maneuver when the stock's cheaper. So,
yeah,
um, and then what that does to you take the current open interest and multiply it by 10. That too gives flexibility. You can scale out or scale in on that open interest. So yeah, I definitely look forward to that. I'm waiting on the same for Eli Lilly. You'll probably split at some point.
sure,
Going to be the same deal there. So
sure,
yeah,
sure. MSTR, you said that dirty name, not to go like into crypto, but um,
yeah,
levels are real. 466 on the top, and then 202 on the bottom. Big channel to complete. Not that I traded that one, but MDB over there, man. I don't usually trade your stuff, so to speak. I don't know how else to put it. But
yeah, yeah.
MDB completed the channel for me. Didn't get all out of the top, but I am all out of it finally. First one I got over 50% on that was like a not like a non-thesis trade because coins on my list too is another chart that I consider yours that I trade. Um, but this is the first one is like just trade the fucking TA and the flow together, right? You don't need the whole thing. And a good entry is a note here. Will usually keep you in a trade a little longer than a bad entry. Um, but yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of these cycles. That's where we can take this conversation. A lot of these cycles of these charts that we've been on over and over again, and to kind of zoom out a little bit really helps. Not
Yeah.
temper expectations, but have realistic expectations, like a higher low here on our level on MDB. Just kind of curious where you are in that cycle at this point in time. I do want to drop this because I've been wanting to say it 4 times in your points though. But I've stood on some stuff along the way, P, and I haven't said this one in a while, but you keep saying it because it's true. But if you're gonna be successful or you're gonna make it, we're all gonna become swing traders. That's what it is.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, and I'll my so kind of my adaptation to this the swing trade thing is so I what I used to do was I would just go because I wanted to stay in trades longer, so I started shares started creeping into my trades more, right? And I was like, well, I'll go 80-20. I'll go 80% shares and 20% options. But there's a lot of situations where I don't want any options at the beginning of these setups. Um,
Yeah.
I want options as it starts to kind of play around with the pivots and all that. So MDB, for example, 380 is my top line. I don't know what your zone was on your
377
number.
11.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, and that's just a round number based on option strikes or whatever. But
Sure, same thing. Same thing.
so at the 220 ads, and had that explosive move off earnings, kind of cleared like a lot of that out. But I didn't start going back into options on this until it was in like the 300s, the 300 to 320. And I hit options on that, several times, and then had kind of a roll on this way up to 380, and then and then got out. So it's like it's two separate accounts. It's two separate trades, and it just works better for me to scale into the share side and then kind of assess what I want to do with the options rather than just doing the same thing every time, every setup where it's like, okay, I'm 80% shares, 20% options. It doesn't always,
Cookie
that
cutter.
wasn't working as well as it could have if the mental capital of holding options in a swing wasn't worth it. So a lot more strategic and focused with options, a lot more sort of quick hitters and things like that. Because I mean, to like MDB, like yeah, it's a great setup. Yes, you could just buy leaps on it and leave them alone. But it's the risk is too high. It's just greed. That's greed, right?
Sure.
And if you need to just have confidence in a setup and put enough into it where the 20-30% plus share side is what you're after, and then you call it good. You find a way to keep some, whatever. But yeah, and I will say too, MSTR is the other one. I am just so happy that the original position I had, that I sold it in the 400s, and then I'm not riding it all the way back down. That was kind of the Roku lesson. And coin was the one to keep share side
Sure.
and still is.
Ooh.
But um, but yeah, yeah, I've learned a lot from that, and just try to um, be a little more strategic with options and not make them the main. They're the star of the show for how I read things, but they don't have to be the for how I trade things. I guess that's what I've taken.
It's interesting because I was talking to my son about seasons in life, and fucking you two fucking mop heads are in a similar season. Luckily, I mean, little not fair. You're my age, and my son's been with me his whole life, so he's got
Yeah,
the crash course. But we were just talking in general, not even really talking trading, and you know how you kind of it just gets there. It just kind of you say one thing, and then you start it just creeps into the conversation, and um, I just kind of giving him crap about being green because he messaged me like 2 weeks ago, like, "Oh, it's all green," and I was like, "Well, you better sell some of it." And I was mainly talking about Tilray, and I got a message maybe a week later, like, "Yeah, should have sold that right when you said it." Um,
yeah,
but we were talking about we're just talking about life in general, and he's a pretty determined kid, so he was like kind of ho hum a little bit, and kind of feeling stagnant. That's probably a good word. And so we were talking about that and got into the trading, and I was asking him about, well, you guys you should be doing good over there, right? I mean, I got to check in on my kid, like I check in on Carlos, like you should be doing all right, everything good. And he's like, oh yeah, we're fucking great. And I was like, well, what are you doing with your hands over the next couple months? Because it's that time. And he told me about AMD. I'm doing good on AMD. Yada yada yada. Up 118%. I was like, well, yeah, you screwed that trade all up. You're buying at 165. He's like, well, yeah, I got some down there at 70, like you said, and I'm doing good. And I was like, well, what's your plan? And he was like,
yeah,
I'm here. And I was like, bro, like, what's your plan? And then we had that conversation, like, and he dumped the number on me, and I was like, no, because I was like, if you keep like 10 in there, or if you have 10, you take out five, and keep five in there and move on to the next one. Don't waste time. Maybe put that brick away, call it good. Make sure you get the right ones out for taxes, call it good. Or maybe you got to make it a month to get to the right tax, but whatever. Make good. And he's like, oh, I got 40 in there, Dad. I'm like, you better sell some fucking tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
and just plan on buying it back at 165. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And like, we kind of had to tussle on that a little bit. And he's like, it's AMD. I was like, well, even if you have 10, 15 in AMD right now, in 10 or 15 years, that's going to be fine. You'll be okay. Just leave it there. You'll be fine. If you don't need to put 40 in there. Go find another basket, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're going to be real pissed at me about SoFi. And I was like, well, why? And he gave me the number, and it was pretty substantial. And because I mean, that's where he started. It's his NVIDIA. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not as mad because we have a thesis, and that's the reason that clicked with me is because of what you said about coin. We have a long-term thesis on that thing, and like, no, if that's where you're gonna take a shot, but you don't just like take multiple shots. You don't have three fucking stocks in your whole account, or you don't have three stocks that are 70% of your account.
Yeah.
It's bad enough if you have one that's 40, but if you're 25, I kind of get it. But through the mop top conversation, and my mop top conversation, I mean, we all got problems, right? We all got these like dreams and goals and aspirations that lead us to fucking nothing but greed. Um, we're not here to, and I kind of told my kid that like I don't trade um, to take care of people's greed. To scratch that itch. That's not what we're here for. We're here to build accounts, and we're here to protect your neck, basically, so to speak, and learn to diversify, learn to see value, and find the next fucking trade. And so hopefully, you can't control him, P. That's one thing I wanted to get across to you in this conversation. I mean, it's literally my kid, and he's got 70% of his account or 60% of his account in two fucking stocks at all-time
Yeah.
highs. When I'm telling people like 660 is probably the top, this market's blowing off right now, you probably want to take a little bit of profit here. um, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I with so the the like the flow read requests I get, which I'm happy to do, and I've talked about this, but when it's a read on, it's like, hey, I'm up 60-80% on this. What's the flow look like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's kind of that's not how I approach reading option flow. I could open it up and look, and look up anything,
That's
but it's honestly it's
you do
hard
it.
to.
You do it for me. I feel bad. I gotta stop doing it. It sounds like because I ask. My that's where I'm
No, no,
greedy.
no.
I'm greedy there
Yeah,
too.
but no, but I mean, but here's the thing, like when you ask me, it's like 60 to 80% of the time it's good.
Well, because it's on a level
When other
again.
people ask me, it's like 2 out of 10.
Yeah, well,
And so,
mine's back to a level, so it's either going to confirm that and continue, or it's going to reject. So I mean, I
right,
think that's
yeah,
the difference. But I mean, the mental aspect of it is still, can I get more?
it is right. But what I would just encourage people to think about, like so the reason, and I always do this as a professor, like let's think about the reason you're asking me this question. You're not asking me the question because it's at a level you know about. You're asking me the question because you're looking at your account and I'm like, damn, I did well here. I wonder if I should sell some more. So it's what's driving the question. That's why their percentage on asking me that tends to be so much lower. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
hey, we're green here. As long as you're not writing it all the way back down and
Well,
losing money, that it doesn't really matter that much. But it is something to think about, and it comes down to wanting to trade things in a level, and the two things that are going to keep you in it, or that keep me in it, are there's pivots I know about, or it's that all-time high flow grind up thing that's happening. And I can sort of see when that setup kind of breaks down, and then that's time to get out. So it has to be something keeping you in a trade beyond the numbers on your screen, and how the percentage you're up, or anything like that. That shouldn't be what keeps you in it. It should be something else, some other kind of bigger idea.
Yeah, no, I had a note, and I'm not going to touch on it too much, but I just wanted to read it because you just did touch on it. But tops and bottoms, man, that middle for me is not fun, and that's, I think, the difference to the two levels we're talking about there. Um, I want to get back to that conversation with my son just a tad because what really stood out to me, and it's refreshing now, and why I ran to the room and fucking keyboard warrior to like you motherfuckers, you mop head motherfuckers, is because it's like two extremes for me, P. Because one of my notes right here, you don't see it on a monthly. We were talking about SoFi, and SoFi pulled back 5-10%, right? And you got a, let's say, $70,000 position. That's a $7,000 pullback in your account you're looking at. And
Yeah.
this motherfucker straight told me, "Well, you don't see it on the monthly chart." That's exact words he told me. Exact words, because he knows me, right? He knows I'll tell him to look at the weekly, so he's got to trump me with that somehow. And that's his fucking first time he's ever said it to me. And it's just so yin and yang to what I deal with in the Discord, right? Because if it's down on the minute chart, I'm gonna hear about it. It's just odd
Yeah.
and end. And why that's important to me is because even if you're winning or you're losing or you have some good skill or you can have some bad skill, you can still have some the same bad habits, like the same ones of how you view things or what you're doing. So you need to fix those first, I think, is what really stood out, because there's so many parallels and similarities between the two, even though they have a way different view and a way different trading style, so to speak. Because I mean, he's a buy more. He was I think it started Sophie at 16, and he was
Hmm.
just buy more. We went down to 5. He's I'm buy more. I'm gonna buy more. I'm gonna buy more, and then never sell any. And I mean that's not what we deal with in the room. It's the complete opposite. So I think that it's not going to help you when you do make it was a big as another big part of that. When you do get a green, and even when you get that one green trade that is up 10K, like what the hell are you going to do? Um, yeah, sorry, I had to get that little rant out. The main thing I wanted to say you need to do though, everybody, just so you don't fuck up so you don't red to green life, is plan for the 200 on the weekly. Just write that down somewhere. Always, whether it's the .com bubble, it's the EV 2001 momentum COVID bubble. Just plan for the 200. You'll be fine.
Good stuff.
Tariff pullback this year. Just plan for the 200. You'll be fine. Want to go boring? What do you want to do?
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that.
Let me pull
All
up.
right. So,
Professor's screen's not here today, so I'm gonna pull up some
um,
copper chart. I bet.
yeah, yeah, we'll go copper first. Let's see.
Where did I go? That'll work. Yeah, this will work. Yeah, same shit. I mean, I guess I would rather argue with someone up 118% than someone that's in a 20% bag. But fuck,
Yeah,
you're not helping yourself if you don't if you don't have proper management.
yeah, and so on copper,
Copper, five
kind of
bucks.
still think, yeah, 5 to 7, kind of still my thinking here when we start building shit. I think that the uh, administration should he Trump the builder. He needs he needs to kind of find his mojo with that again. Um, there's a lot of the cut in the deal with the tariff narrative and trade is kind of played out to me. So I don't know. I think that as we go into midterms, you got to start to show some action here. They need to get more consistent with releasing economic data too. That's a different story, um, but those things kind of need to happen, and I think that there's just reality of a lot of what they want to do with this tech investment, AI, like all that shit. You got to start to put shovels in the ground, and so I do think that copper and aluminum are a pretty good place to be, and you just want to It's not necessarily shut up and buy, but there's some setups you want to watch in those sectors.
Yeah, tradable for sure. I'll start there. Always will be, but more so lately. I think we got a problem with the funding for things. That's just going to take a while. And midterm's good shout with there's talks of him being a lame duck president if it doesn't go his way. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just slow motion. So, um, like any commodity, I mean, we just played uranium, silver, and gold. Took 11 months. Probably took 6 to really get started. So just be mindful of that's what's over here. So when you sell your shit that's up 118%, buy a little bit of this. All right.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Silver and gold, pretty nasty pullback on the minute chart on Friday, but I don't know. I can't really find gold setups when it's over 4,000. It's gonna have to stay up here for a long time for those to set back up. That's sort of my take on it.
You know what? Oh, sorry.
Silver's still better, and you can find ones here and there.
I'm against the grain of you just a little bit there. The gold charts that we've been on for years are tradable range currently, but I'll be 100% honest. I don't need a scalp trade like that. Nor do I really want to in general. With I'm not there currently in my life. Like, nor is the volume in the market there. But if you need some short-term swing trades and you are just trying to close trades green, um, some of those gold trades are very, very easy. The bigger names, even now that they're $30, $40, they have the range. They're kind of liquid. Sizing is important there. And then silver, I think we had the conversation last week where you said, I mean, you didn't even budge on 100. So those charts probably
Yeah.
be more grinding swings, pullbacks for entries there. Wish I would have kept more AG when you were screaming about it at 8. That's for sure.
Yeah, and there's some that SBSW and you know Barrett Gold, obviously, ones like that. I guess what I'm getting at is, so to start the year, I had the big read on gold, and it panned out above what I expected, which is kind of what happens when you're right sometimes. But the yeah, whatever, I don't know, the whatever the higher low is on the monthly or whatever you want to say like that. Um, I still just I think that needs to kind of pan out and give it more time. And again, the best trades in the sector, I've said this for a while, are going to be miners that undergo some kind of distress of something in the nations they operate in, and you get an overreaction to news, and then or an earnings report where they didn't guide very well, or whatever. That those are the opportunity, because what those stocks are going to do, they're gonna work their way back to the median price, and so
Yep.
it's safer. It's just safer. Retrace that 10-15%, and it's a way to get back into a sector that left you behind. And so that's what I'll be looking for.
I do want to add, because the thesis is panning out, and I'm usually not a great thesis creator. I have to lean on you for that a little bit. But the gold and silver prices are coming out in their ER reports. You're seeing it right now. Their numbers are
Yeah,
great. Their numbers
yeah,
are fucking great.
yeah. Good stuff. Um, Oil, $60. So that's good. I think still the stability here is what you're after, and the uh, mid caps are kind of where it's at for me, and it's sort of focused within those of tanker, pipeline, oil natural gas combo, and I just kind of cycle around, and I just want a basket of all those. I don't know which subsector is going to do the best or anything like that, but they're all kind of set up. Stuff in the lower 20s, flow in the upper 20s. Stocks that are 28, flow at 36. There's just a ton of setups like that. So still just going to be a pretty good spot for us, I think.
Yeah. Oil not on the greatest trend on a TA thing, but it's pretty stable down here. And yeah, I'm with everything you said on the sizing and stuff. It's um, The first thing that came to mind is like there's current one that was like I thought I was gonna pull back one more time and I didn't get to get it enough of it again. I have plenty of it though, trust me. Um, but it's you just say thank you. You just say thank you. I mean, you can always find a way to complain. Of course, you didn't full port it and full port out at the top and bottom, right? So um, there's gonna be plenty. And I through the look this week, P, the large caps are probably a week or two off from you for saying like, if you're gonna own this, just own it because there's stability in those charts at a pretty good price point.
Yeah, right. And I mean the Exxon, Chevron,
Yeah,
ones
yep,
like
yep,
that.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, love those. And then our favorite one, still in a good zone. All right, and then natural gas, still good. The setup here, I'm still kind of unchanged. That the break of five is not probably gonna. I don't think it's gonna reject at five. I think that's when you get back to the real price. No one talks about Ukraine anymore, but um, the unwind of whatever they're doing with that is going to probably be what puts it back in towards normalcy.
I think
And selling to Europe and all that, I think it's good for the U.S. companies.
Yeah, I think it said 6-7 a week or two ago, but plan for 5.5 because probably going there soon. Um,
Yep.
Nothing crazy though. Again, safer trades, easy theses. Say thank you.
Lithium. Um, I wish my screen was up because this is just nuts. But you look at where lithium used to be and where it is now, $10. I I think like 16 to 20 is where this is going. The battery trades probably a little better than the lithium stocks in some respects as a sector. Although there is one lithium stock I think stands out above the rest of them. But yeah, I still like that one. And I just think it's a sector people don't really think about. And the battery trade, by the way, is really a drones robotics trade. Um, there's just going to be so many devices that work their way into everyday life that are battery powered, and so breakthroughs in battery technology and you know partnerships, all that stuff. And a lot of those stocks are pretty cheap, so love that sector.
Shoot, the LA is 100% of both those already. I'll leave
Yeah,
them alone if you're saying though, but I love the other one with you. And yeah, we've seen the cycle before. It the froth or the overrun is great, just like what happened with the EVs. I mean, EVs had batteries, chargers, all kinds of shit. Just kind of overruns, and I think lithium, the battery lithium angle, that pool. I don't think we're seeing the proper big picture yet because there's going to be so much bleed over into just weird things. Like the best way I can explain it for us is use what we know. It's going to be like the wafer cleaners. It's going to be. I really feel it will be like that in the long
yeah,
run. So um,
yep,
we're early. Be mindful.
yep. And uranium, I think uranium's setting back up.
Ooh,
I don't really really worry too much about the daily chart on uranium prices or anything. It's again a different kind of sector, but yeah, I mean, gonna probably get to the high 80s, low 90s, something like that. Um, so I like the trend here.
that was
Get
my
some fat range in some of those. Um, so
yeah, that was my with the gold and silver last year. That was the one thing I brought to the table. Luckily, just snuck it in there. Just because we were so active on charts that I liked. It's harder for me to find it, but I think that again the froth in that sector, I like that stuff as opposed to the straight uranium. The what you just said about lithium, I think applies more to uranium, P. Um, with what we have in our baskets. Um,
oh sure.
so yeah, and I'm with you. I think the night is young there. They haven't even really started the partnerships and or cold style war with that. Who's building what to supply who? So
Yeah. All right. The 10-year surging a bit, so just be mindful that we're still in kind of pop and fade conditions. To me, I mean, you saw that with I mean, the shutdown ending was a kind of sell the news thing.
yeah.
Not that surprising because the market ran pretty hot during the shutdown. So I don't know what people thought that that would do.
Well,
Like that you're gonna just
the market P in general is usually looking at something. That's how I always say it, and it's a time thing. Is it looking at the current moment, or is it looking 6 months down the road? And the market currently is about 4 to 6 weeks ahead. So as long and it has predicted a path over the next 4 to 6 weeks that we must do, and the government opening back up was just going to happen in the 4 to 6 weeks. So it had kind of already taken that into account. It wasn't a big deal. The rates, not getting the rate cut, will be a big deal. But pretty smooth sailing inside of the range off of. I wrote it. I wrote 660. I wrote the number 660. I wrote DCLX. I wrote 600 and 320s because 660 is it right now. And I think we just see that range figure itself out over the rest of the year as long as we stay on schedule.
yeah, yeah, with you there. Bitcoin, um, kind of a
I made
rough
a
Sunday.
decision. Made a decision.
Did make a decision. Yep. I yeah, it's hard for me to see I just don't see the selling really stopping
Love to see it.
right now.
Love to
Um,
see it.
I'm thinking like 84 or something like that is where I'm gonna get interested. But yeah, a lot of despair in the crypto stocks. The ones that don't have a data center angle at all are they're all falling, but they're falling from a lower spot. So I mean, who would have thought that? I guess we would have, but Iren was such a better trade than Mara and Riot this round, and that that panned out. So, and even Wolf and a couple others, but yeah, those all set back up. We're MSTR. We're below my lowest split pivot on the thing, so I think that's got a ways to go too.
Yeah, 202 for me there. We'll see what happens this week with that. I don't. Yeah, You need to hold here, P. Like if it gives up 90, it's probably gonna hit see 70s at some point in time.
Yeah, that'd be great if you want to actually own some Bitcoin. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Bitcoin, when it gets moving, it is oxen. I mean, it really can be oxen in a directionally the big moves. So
yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm I like it a lot more. I'm liking it a lot more. Which I almost put a couple of them in my last five, but it's a little early. Um, we're gonna see Mara under $10 again. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be great. I'm happy. I mean, that should I definitely say thank you on quick. So I haven't traded a lot of it in a while, and I'm happy for it to come back. With the caveat of the data center angle being probably where you want to hang out a little bit more at.
Yeah, and it's another sector too where the stocks become a big punchline, and that's usually when they get pretty good. I mean, what was sentiment like on Mara when we were in on it
Yeah,
years ago?
bag
So you'll get back.
holders, just
Yeah.
Twitter bag holders at that point.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think it's gonna get interesting. And again, I was happy to be wrong here just because I did hedge and um, you hedge with a weekly that's goes $20 in the money. I mean, that's $2,000 in intrinsic value alone, plus the IV pumps and all that shit. So
That's a
uh,
good
fine there.
good. I don't know. You can tell me the word, but a good show of the market, how shit works. Cause I was right and I didn't make shit, and Professor was wrong and he made money. He made money.
Yeah. Right.
Just throw that out there.
All right. I talk some spy real quick
All
here.
right. 660, 660, DCLX, 600 and 320s. 600s and 320s. I don't care how you fucking say 660. It's important. I mean, market's gonna figure it
Yeah.
out. It's very, if you need like to understand what liquidity is, I don't know how else you understand it, but it's never been traded at this fucking price before, so there's not a lot of shares up here. Um,
Yeah.
that's where it's always going to be most liquid at, and we've just seen that. I mean, literally retrace the move from last week, that Thursday pullback, Friday pre-market, recover, um, zoom out a little bit, not inside bar, but close to an inside bar. We are on the weekly. That should be white. Probably will turn white Monday. But yeah, we're gonna tighten up, I bet, which isn't a bad thing. Worst case thing right now for me is that under 660 with any kind of a regularity and volume down there, besides a quick little bounce. Top end still undefined. But yeah, I mean, it's where we planned in the fucking year at. You're 2 months early. It means you have 2 months to fucking manage your shit. Be smart. I'm done.
Yep. So no boxing glove yet, but the first punch is March 640p.
Okay.
So that needs a companion, and I think it's probably uh, if they want to do a longer term thing at 620, that's kind of what I would think would happen. But yeah, so that's kind of my read on the open interest is
Great.
there's a wick down to 640 is possible, but
I
not
got
I wouldn't call it likely at this point.
I got like 43 and 35p. Pretty good. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be like the shelf below 660. There's a little on the I'm on the day here, a little gappy there. But yeah, and then it's right here too. There's the same thing, 37. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible to get into this shelf, I would call it, as opposed to building on this shelf. Um, Defined range though, the sky can't fall from up here above the 50 SMA on the weekly. Still, I mean, none of that is uh, bearish by any means, unless you're on a minute chart.
Yes, right. And I will say, like, if we do get into the 640s, you'll see stocks like Snow and CrowdStrike show back up for us.
Yeah.
Ones that we can't really do much with up here, but um, yeah. So you'll see that, and all of those, those sectors that have been pretty strong. It's just going to be a fresh setup, and it'll take time, and you've got to accumulate and distribute shares and set up some new pivots and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think you will. I take a scenario that I don't consider especially likely, but kind of know what's going to happen if we go there. So been through this with the market several times now, and that's where I'm at.
We were having a little technical difficulties before the program today, and because me and Professor never really like talk or script these at all. We just show up and say, "You ready to fucking go?" It's 7 o'clock
Yeah.
on Sunday. You ready to go? And we go. But we kind of mentioned during that time about rotation, and I think that's what you're seeing. If we were scripted, we probably would have talked about that rotation a little more than you fucking Twitter worthless people, but we didn't. So, but that rotation is what you're seeing, P, and I think we both see that aspect of it. Flo's real good at identifying the overall picture. Unk's real good at identifying stocks that are cheap. So, yeah, you just figure out the big dogs are going to figure out taxes. Well, we talked about it a couple weeks in a row about a month or two ago. Like if you had a position, it's 2% and it blew up, and now it's 4 or 5%. Those guys have to get rid of some, and they have to find something else undervalued. That's how, because they're managing
Yeah.
people's money. So we're just gonna see that here at the end of the year. A lot of people are green out there. Let's just throw it out there. I mean, look at SPY in general. If you just were holding your green, if you bought during that miserable April dip, you're super green. So Yeah, just be mindful again of the market conditions where we are in the year. You're gonna have some profit taking. You're gonna have some rotation overall. Professor's fucking great at finding it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
um, yeah, I don't. I feel weekly SPY numbers are stupid. Just watch 660, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean and the funny thing is that we used to pick our numbers, and we did really well with that, but we stopped doing it because we kind of saw that like the conditions were different, and um sort of, what's the point of it? Didn't really it broke out of that range, and it's just like not that's not the kind of market it was to call your shot on highs and lows.
yeah, I got
Um,
tired of saying I'm gonna pull this number out of my ass.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah,
I mean, because there's nothing at the high, right? I mean, and you're like, well, I'm gonna just give you the strike that's up there, but we ran out of that
yeah.
even where there was no strike at the high end. So
No, no, at all. They let the bid side drive the car, um and then the zero DTE every day, and the change they made to settlement time and all that stuff that kind of changed things too. But
exactly,
um, yeah,
perfect. You ready to get to work, sir?
yeah, I'm good.
Perfect. Hey, like and subscribe. Link somewhere, people.